The residents of Baltimore were shocked to know that they were not safe in their homes. The members of the gun track task force were engaging in dishonest business practices, including fraud, extortion, and robbery.
Corrupt cops who swore to protect and serve were nothing more than criminals.
Their secrets were revealed in 2017, and since then, the Baltimore story was covered by the media extensively.
How did they get caught? How did they manage to save their faces all these years?
The significant news that this legendary police fraud gang had been exposed stemmed from the death of Freddie Gray. Given that Freddie died unexpectedly while in police custody, the Baltimore police station was under investigation. To find out how Freddie died and what caused it, an investigation was carried out. According to the inquiry report, 6 Baltimore police officers were involved in the arrest of Freddie Gray. He was caught selling drugs when he was detained. He was dragged to the police van, where they locked the door. But the fact that they disregarded safety precautions and endangered Freddie's life is what went wrong. The policeman in the van was playing with him like he was a toy. He was treated inhumanely and subjected to terrible torture. He was prohibited from using a seatbelt, and his wrists and feet were bound. He was not permitted to have any type of basic safety equipment. His spinal cord and neck were seriously hurt. He was unable to withstand the torture and passed away a week later as a result. There was something strange about the police officers. Therefore, the Department of Justice decided to look into it further. Rod Rosenstein of the DEA decided to investigate and expose this terrible tale. These 6 officers were accused of manslaughter for having little compassion for Freddie, knowing that the police force they had blindly trusted could do something terrible, shocked the public. This top-notch police unit was comprised of Thomas Allers, Mamadou Gondo, Jamel Rayam, Evodio Hendricks, Maurice Ward, Marcus Taylor, Daniel Herschel, and Wayne Jenkins. Everyone paid attention to Wayne since he was the leader. Wayne Jenkins was the worst law enforcement official there has ever been. The GTTF was run by him, and he was in charge. You can refer to him as the mastermind. The gun track task force was uncovered in 2017 by a unit member who confessed to his crimes on a video that the DEA heard. Gondo was in touch with the narcotics gang. The investigators' discovery of the crucial clue that caused them to begin to question the police officers marked this moment as the pivotal one. Gondo's confessions were all recorded by the DAA. He disclosed his involvement in drug sales and use. The DA was surprised when he subsequently detailed other crimes in which he had participated. These police officers have committed a seemingly endless number of crimes. They had a good plan that they followed exactly every day without fail. The drug dealers were their major focus. They would target and torture these individuals. All the narcotics would be removed and sold again. They made more money from this than they could have as a police officer. They go looking for drug dealers to extort drugs and cash from every day. They lack any emotional attributes that a person should have, along with any sense of professional responsibility for the work they conduct as police officers. The only thing they cared about was gathering more drugs to sell. They will make a significant amount of money from this. They did not shoot other individuals with the illegal guns they carry, but instead unintentionally planted explosives on them. They could then detain anyone in possession of an unauthorized firearm. These officers were brought before the court to make confessions after being apprehended. Hearing about all the crimes these officers committed in a short amount of time startled the jury. Wayne once observed some men robbing a drugstore with the assistance of other officers. They valiantly put an end to the robbery, but they were not acting alone. They kept up the robbery and took drugs from that location. After plundering the business, they sold the drugs to additional drug dealers. Through that, they became very wealthy. A prominent drug dealer suspect's house was searched without warning after they stole his house keys. Then they went ahead and made off with $100,000 from there. They used to indiscriminately drive cars at high speeds in a crowd of people, exhibiting a cruel mentality. These policemen hunt people who flee for their life before arresting them. By carrying out such awful deeds, they feel strong and joyful. They fitted illegal tracking devices in the cars of narcotics dealers to follow them. The police officers would be able to find out where and when these drug sellers will be using this equipment. The cops from the GTTF either raid their residences or steal their drugs and cash. They committed all of these acts over the last 3 years without anyone even suspecting them. They discriminated against and held a negative attitude towards black people. Throughout this brief time, they stole somewhere around $300,000. They stole 7 pounds of cocaine during these 3 years. From the narcotics sellers, they also took 43 pounds of marijuana. In addition to this, they converted the proceeds from the sale of pricey, one-of-a-kind jewels into cash. According to their respective portions, they divided up the entire sum of money and spent it all on themselves. A group of police officers could not possibly have committed such heinous atrocities while on duty. The court could not believe it. They received a sentence of 112 years. They must serve that sentence in prison. Jenkins, the chief of the GTTF, received a particularly lengthy sentence because he was the perpetrator of all of these crimes. Jenkins is currently serving a sentence of 25 years in a Kentucky prison. These policemen's crimes had a significant impact on the Baltimore Police Department. Both the general public and other departments must come to trust them. Others now view them with contempt, since what this policeman did was unjustifiable. The HBO miniseries with that title is called We Own This City. The Baltimore incident served as inspiration for the producers, who turned it into a miniseries and showed it to the audience. Even among female police officers, there are nasty ones. Let's witness the account of a female police officer who was deceived by love and wealth. A female police officer named Antoinette Frank and her boyfriend Rogers Lacaze committed a terrible crime together. The horrifying murder occurred on March 4, 1995, stunning the residents of New Orleans. Together with her family, Chauveau managed her restaurant. They made a substantial fortune through their family business, Kim Ainge, to watch after their business. They had enlisted Ronald Williams as a part-time security guard. In his spare time, Ronald works there. He used to be a police officer when Frank and her boyfriend, a drug dealer, stormed into the restaurant and demanded money. Chauveau called Ronald to the dining room to give his wages. Frank began threatening Chauveau and her brother. Ronald tried to intervene to defend the siblings, but Frank's lover shot him. She panicked since Frank hadn't anticipated things to go worse. Chau and her brother hid in the walk-in fridge as Frank turned around to hunt for her companion. The older siblings, Kuang and Ha Vu, were cleaning the restaurant when the incident occurred. Frank questioned them over the money, but Chau had hidden it in the microwave. She shot the 2 older siblings as soon as Frank discovered the money. Both of them received death sentences after being tried in court. Frank was transferred to a Louisiana prison for women. Do you believe there are other officers like this in law enforcement? Do you anticipate a repeat of this incident? Let us know in the comments.
You have the exact same name and date of birth as someone else.
Let's explore the distressing incidents where innocent individuals face unwarranted troubles at the hands of law enforcement, highlighting the urgency for accountability and reform. On September 8, 2022, an officer from the Bartholomew County Sheriff's Department responded to a 911 call reporting suspicious activity at a storage unit property. The officer encountered 3 individuals who were loading boxes onto a truck. The officer informed them about the 911 call and asked for their identification. The individuals complied and provided their IDs.
Can I have everybody step out here, please?
Yeah.
Including those 2.
Yeah. Go out here.
Okay. Oh, we just got a report of you guys. Is there a 3rd?
Yeah. Brandon.
Okay. Yeah.
He wants you out here.
Okay. So basically what happened is we got where you guys loading up things to your vehicles.
Right.
Yeah. It's his stuff. They just
Yeah.
closed and we needed to get his stuff out.
I understand.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
have any proof that
I can
that
probably
is-
find a bill or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that fine? I'll find that.
Do you have your driver's license by chance?
Yeah.
Yeah, can I borrow that, please?
I figured y'all probably show up.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I would show up.
Can I have ID
Oh,
for
yeah,
you too
yeah,
as
yeah,
well?
sorry.
While the officers ran their IDs, one of the individuals showed proof of ownership indicated that they were not involved in any illegal activity. However, the officer disregarded the proof and continued running their IDs. It was discovered that one of the individuals, Bradley Bowman, had a warrant. The officer requested information from dispatch regarding the items they shouldn't be moving and the validity of the warrant.
Sir,
How are you?
late to the party. What's going on?
Nothing. It's what it sounds like.
Okay.
It sounds like that
The bullshit.
the Bowman subject might have a J4 though.
Okay. But.
No, they're just. Jesus Christ.
Hi.
Yeah. What's up, guys?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Despite dispatch confirming that the individuals were allowed to move their belongings, the officer chose to detain Mr. Bowman. Dispatch had not yet confirmed Mr. Bowman's warrants, but the officer decided to take him into custody anyway. Mr. Bowman complied with the officer and even placed his hands behind his back without resistance. However, the officer failed to match Mr. Bowman's provided date of birth with the warrant's information. The officer proceeded to pat him down and placed him on patrol vehicle, unnecessarily prolonging the investigation.
I'll tell you when we get to this part. Right. Can you put your cigarette out for me? You got anything that's gonna stick me, poke me, hurt me?
No.
Okay. Do you have any property you wish to leave here?
I mean,
Over on this side.
I don't think so.
Alright, I'm gonna pat you down, alright? Is this just property right here? Are you gonna want to take this with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Is that just a piece of candy right there?
Yeah.
Or is that a key fob you need to something?
No, I don't need that.
Okay.
I think it's like a rock.
Alright. It looks like a key fob.
Looks like it's plastic. I don't think it's candy.
Okay.
I think it's like for like. Okay, so you don't. Okay.
You don't need it? What's this right here? Your phone? I'm gonna take it out, alright?
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright.
Hey, bud. Is your keys in your bag?
Yes, sir.
You cool if they take it?
Take a seat for me. Can you get on the other side and pass that through to you? Here you go, man.
Seatbelt?
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
We had to cut down a tree, that's why there's wood shavings back there, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're all right.
While in the patrol vehicle, Mr. Bowman questioned the warrant for the second time, giving the officer another opportunity to verify his identity. However, the officer claimed that his system did not provide much info and stated that everything would be sorted out at the department.
Yeah, I'll look it up for you right now. Yeah, no problem. It looks just for failure to appear. That's all I have on my end, but when we get down there, they'll be able to give me the actual warrant and I can tell you what it was for.
340 your status.
During the ride to the department, Mr. Bowman mentioned that he had never interacted with law enforcement in the area. Instead of verifying his identity, the officer remained silent. Upon arrival at the department, the officer looked into the warrant without ensuring he had the right person. Again, he only mentioned that it was for failure to appear. Finally, the officer asked Mr. Bowman's date of birth, which resulted in visible confusion from Mr. Bowman. He corrected the officer, who then realized his mistake and checked Mr. Bowman's ID. It became clear that Mr. Bowman had been falsely detained, primarily due to the officer's negligence.
3/10/1993. Your birthday?
No. 1594.
Yeah. Yeah. That's on him, not me. We're gonna take it back. We're gonna take it back. I'm gonna take care of those stuff.
The officer blamed dispatch for the mistake, deflecting responsibility instead of acknowledging his own lack of diligence. He uncuffed Mr. Bowman and stated that he would be taking him back to the storage unit property. Throughout the incident, the officer failed to take proper steps to verify Mr. Bowman's identity, leading to an unjust detention.
Okay. Scratch off. There's nothing illegal in the car.
No.
Okay.
No.
You have the right to say no. You have the right to say yes.
I said no.
Let's move on to another incident where a police officer unlawfully forced a man out of his vehicle and subjected him to the cold weather while searching for reasons to arrest him. On January 12, 2023, Officer Jack Lowry of the Bloomington Police Department initiated a traffic stop on Ricky Eugene Pouncil, a health and fitness entrepreneur, for driving in the center lane on an interstate highway in Minnesota. Officer Lowry followed Mr. Pouncil for several minutes before activating his emergency lights and making contact.
Hey man, how's it going? Do you have your driver's license proof insurance? I got you. Reason why I stopped you is I could tell you on the center lane there for a little bit. I want to make sure you don't get me driving.
I'm watching traffic. We have people, headlights.
Yeah.
Asking.
During the interaction, Officer Lowry informed Mr. Pouncil that he was pulled over to check on him and ensure he was fit to drive. Mr. Pouncil explained he was driving cautiously due to icy road conditions and he was looking out for other vehicles without headlights. He complied with Officer Lowry's request for identification and proof of insurance.
Where you head to tonight? Going home? Are you still in Egan? Sorry, what was that?
Yes, ma'am.
I got you. Is this a rental car?
Yeah.
Is this the rental agreement or is this just the... You have the rental agreement?
I don't have a revised one.
No?
But I rent them.
Oh.
One of my sponsors.
Gotcha. Like I said, I was going to try a while a ways back, but the radio has been bouncing all crazy. Like I couldn't get on the air till we got here. So this is a little bit safer spot.
After running Mr. Pouncil's license, which was valid, Officer Lowry continued to spend an unnecessary amount of time verifying his identity and running additional background checks. Officer Lowry justified his suspicion by falsely claiming that Mr. Pouncil was uncooperative and driving below the speed limit, despite the speed limit being 60 miles per hour and Mr. Pouncil driving at 55.
Hit by a car, you know what I'm saying? Your license all valid and everything like that? All good to go, right? With valid license and everything? I'm just asking, I'm going to run yes, I just want to make sure. Okay. Anytime, man. I'll be back.
Officer Lowry, along with another officer, Taylor Huss, discussed the traffic stop and expressed interest in searching Mr. Pouncil's vehicle. They browsed through their phones and Minnesota state laws, delaying the interaction. Officer Lowry mentioned that there were bags in the vehicle, attempting to raise suspicion. Eventually, Officer Lowry asked Mr. Pouncil to step out of the vehicle. Mr. Pouncil expressed skepticism but complied. Officer Lowry patted him down and began asking irrelevant questions. Mr. Pouncil called out the harassment and stated the questions were unnecessary. Officer Lowry then questioned Mr. Pouncil about the bags in the vehicle and if there was anything illegal inside. Mr. Pouncil explained that they were workout bags and there was nothing illegal. Officer Lowry attempted to pivot the investigation to conduct a search unrelated to the initial traffic stop.
Just do a quick 25 check and who knows. There's some luggage in the back seat too.
What's that?
Like a couple bags in the trunk area. But just from PA courts and like everything like that, nothing too crazy that I can see. So who knows?
It is important to note that officers cannot expand their investigation beyond the initial reason for the traffic stop without additional justification.
It's that whole time. All right, I'm gonna. He didn't seem super cooperative, so I'm just gonna pull him out and try to talk him out here. Ricky, right? All right. Hey, Ricky, I got no intention of writing any ticket. I'm going to talk to you back here for a quick second. We'll get you out of here, all right? I should talk to you back here. Just about your coming and going. I want to make sure we're on the same page. I just want to clear up some things. I'm asking you to get out of the car. Well, the thing is, I don't really need a reason. No, I don't. I'm badge 363. Like I said, man, I'm just trying to clear up some things. What are you doing? You're coming and going, then you want to talk to you. I'm trying to talk to you man to man. Okay, sorry, it's in your eyes. Badge 363. All right. So I just want to talk to you back here, back to your car. I'll get you all the information in a second, man. 363. Officer Lowry. I know, man. I'm not going to try to keep you out there any longer than I have to. Do me a favor. Can you just come around the front here? Thank you. That'd be great.
Officer Lowry's attempt to search the vehicle was not supported by the traffic violation. Mr. Pouncil emphasized his innocence and clear record throughout the interaction.
Hey, I know it's cold out here. You might feel the need to put your hands in your pockets. I'll either ask you to put your hands out of your pockets, or I can either pat you down for your safety.
Pat me down, whatever you want.
Okay. So, the reason why I'm trying to talk to you out here is because when I tried talking to you the first time, you seemed super. Like I tried asking you where you're coming and going. You know, said you're headed where? Back home.
I'm going home.
And is home in Egan?
No, I have a house over here, man. I mean, all those questions really not necessary.
Well, again,
I mean, can I get your? I need your number.
You know, I'm asking kind of basically. So you said you're going home.
I'm going home. Period.
Where is your address at home? It's not. You said it's not Egan.
No, it's not Egan.
Can you tell me
I have an address over here.
Address over here.
Well, you can follow me if you want.
I don't want to follow
you know, it's like you're harassing me.
I'm not trying to harass you.
Yes, you are. I mean, I haven't did anything.
I'm not trying to harass you.
You searched me. I haven't did nothing.
I didn't search you.
Yes, you did. You patted me down. I need your information too.
Hold on.
You have a card on
you?
Go ahead, ask me the question.
So you said over here is
Yeah,
like,
over there. I have a house in Bloomington. Yeah, but I don't need to give you my address.
Okay,
My address is right here.
Where were you coming from?
Coming from Lifetime Fitness.
Lifetime Fitness?
Yeah.
Which one?
In Egan.
In Egan?
Dinah.
Dinah.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you do for work?
What do you mean what I do for work? I have my own business.
What do you do for your business?
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you had this rental car for?
I keep this rental car the whole year.
And then last thing, what's up with the bags? Is it like a workout bag? You know,
Yeah, it's workout bags back there.
workout bags?
Yeah.
And how many bags are there?
I don't know, 3 or 4. It's workout bags.
Let me ask you this.
The incident highlights Officer Lowry's questionable motives and disregard for proper police procedures. He used irrelevant factors such as Mr. Pouncil's appearance and speed slightly below the limit to justify his actions. The prolonged detention and attempted search were a violation of Mr. Pouncil's rights. On December 13, 2022, Officer James Hinkle, a member of the Waterbury Police Department, found himself in the midst of directing traffic in Waterbury, Connecticut. This was in response to a mechanical failure that had occurred at an intersection, rendering the traffic lights non-functional. The sequence of events that ensued was recorded by the dashboard camera installed in Officer Hinkle's police cruiser. This footage will take precedence, followed by the recording from Officer Hinkle's body camera. Throughout the incident, Officer Hinkle persistently asserts that the driver was attempting to collide with him. However, upon reviewing the dash cam footage from his police cruiser, it becomes evident that he moved aggressively towards her vehicle as she passed by. Additionally, he can be heard telling her that she's fortunate not to be in handcuffs at that moment. Officer Hinkle proceeds to request another officer's assistance in completing a citation for 2 infractions: failure to comply with an officer's instructions and reckless driving, both falling under Section 14-223 of the Connecticut General Statutes.
No! This means stop! This means stop!
I didn't see that until I was already past.
And then you still drove by me!
I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't.
License and registration now!
Hold on. Sorry. Give me a second, okay?
No, license and registration now!
Okay.
You almost ran over an officer standing in the middle of the street.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize what was going on. That was very confusing.
It's a bright yellow jacket standing in the middle of the street. What don't you understand?
All the other cars were going.
No, they weren't. You were the only vehicle coming from that way. You almost ran me over in the middle of the street.
This section delineates the offense as failing to halt when signaled or disregarding an officer's directives. It stipulates that if a motor vehicle operator fails to promptly come to a complete stop when the signal of a uniformed officer or an officer with a prominently displayed badge, or if they defy the officer's instructions pertaining to vehicle operation, they will be considered to have committed an infraction. Moreover, Officer Hinkle cites Section 14-222 of the Connecticut General Statutes, which outlines the specifics of the reckless driving offense. Subsequently, the driver received the citation but was permitted to depart from the scene. However, the charges were subsequently dismissed. This event prompted an internal affairs inquiry into Officer Hinkle's behavior, leading to his immediate placement on paid administrative leave on January 9, 2023. Following the investigation, it was determined that Officer Hinkle had breached departmental policies through his actions, conduct, and demeanor.
Do a pickup.
What is such an important factor that me standing in the middle of the street,
Sir,
stopping you, and you try to run me over?
Sir, I swear.
And then you looked at me, you waved at me, and then you kept going anyway.
I swear I was not trying to run you over. I thought you were. The cars were going.
I'm telling you to stop in the middle of the street, and you wave at me and keep going.
I saw your hand before, and I was too late to stop. And
No, it wasn't. You were doing 10 miles an hour, and you still drove by me.
I'm sorry.
You didn't even attempt to stop your car.
Sir.
You're lucky you're not in handcuffs right this second.
I'm very sorry, sir. I really.
Explain to my kids why they don't have a dad a week before Christmas, because you're trying to run somebody over.
Consequently, on January 9, 2023, Officer Hinkle's employment with the Waterbury Police Department was terminated.
Before Christmas.
Sir, when I see flashing yellow light.
It's not flashing, it's red and blue. That's a cop car standing in the middle of the street flashing lights. No, it's not an accident. You're just being irresponsible. Street, and then waves at me and still tries to drive by me. Run her, please, and make sure she's valid. A week before Christmas, I almost get ran over. Yeah. I got 2 kids at home waiting for me to come home tonight.
Sir, I'm very sorry. I thought.
Sorry doesn't break it. You looked right at me and still decided to drive by me. No, you weren't. I was in the middle of the intersection. Emotionally.
Chief Fernando Spagnolo, in an official statement regarding the termination, emphasized that Officer Hinkle's conduct during the encounter with a member of the community was unacceptable. Here comes our next investigation. June 11, 2018 saw Deputy Duriel Aiken from the Pasco County Sheriff's Office detaining Dr. Catherine Coker on suspicion of running a stop sign close to her residence in Wesley Chapel, Florida. It's worth noting that Dr. Coker managed to reach her home before Deputy Aiken could initiate a traffic stop. Upon reaching her home, Deputy Aiken parked his cruiser on the street and proceeded to approach Dr. Coker after she had parked her vehicle in her driveway and stepped out. Deputy Aiken communicated to Dr. Coker that should she choose to conclude the traffic stop and enter her residence, he would proceed to arrest her under charges of obstruction or what is commonly referred to as resisting.
I don't need a video. I saw you do it.
No, you need a video.
No, I don't. I saw you do it.
We'll be going to court because you did not see me do it.
Okay, if you say so.
Okay, I do say so. You guys have been targeting me and targeting me and targeting me because all the neighbors complain, and I'm not doing anything. I don't know, whatever. Write me a ticket for my insurance. I don't know. I can't.
Can you log into it? Or no?
I don't know. I don't know how. I have no idea how to do it.
But it's AAA?
Yep.
Okay. Well, just do me a favor. Just hang tight till I'm done, okay?
Yep. I'll be around.
She was hauling.
This action is in accordance with Section 843.02 of the Florida statutes, which states, whoever shall resist, obstruct, or oppose any officer in the legitimate execution of a lawful duty without resorting to or causing physical harm to the officer's person shall be charged with a misdemeanor. Dwayne Eddie Coker, Dr. Coker's husband, and a detention deputy with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office during that period, inquires Deputy Aiken about the situation. Deputy Aiken proceeded to brief him on the matter, explaining that he witnessed Dr. Coker disregarding a stop sign. This observation is consistent with the provisions outlined in Section 316.123 of the Florida statutes.
Okay. Oh, sir.
How's it going?
Not bad, yourself?
Good, good. I'm Eddie Coker.
Deputy Aiken, how you doing?
Hey, man. Yeah, I work for HCSO.
Okay.
So, trying to... What happened?
She ran the stop sign.
Constantly call on me. I did not run the stop sign.
Do you have something showing her running the stop sign, or?
I saw it.
You saw it?
I saw it.
He didn't see it.
In this scenario, Deputy Aiken's testimony would likely hold legal weight and could potentially be enough to establish that Dr. Coker indeed ran the stop sign. However, it's important to acknowledge that a court might also consider the possibility that Dr. Coker's account is accurate and could find her version of events more credible than Deputy Aiken's.
No.
Relax.
No. It's harassment.
Well, as you can see, that's probable cause to do the stop.
Absolutely.
If she wants to take it to court, if she can take it to court, that's up to her.
Is there any way you can give me a one-time professional courtesy if I show you my ID?
We've been getting complaints in Seven Oaks in general. Because of that, we're enforcing everything.
Okay. Well, I'll be sure to let my agency know that if we stop one of you guys...
Alternatively, a court might determine that there exists reasonable doubt regarding whether Dr. Coker actually ran the stop sign, especially if other testimonies or evidence presented during the court proceedings cast doubt on the incident. Ultimately, the court's decision would hinge on a careful examination of all available evidence and testimonies. Mr. Coker subtly implies that he holds the position of a deputy within the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, even though he is in fact a detention center deputy without law enforcement jurisdiction. He further communicates to Deputy Aiken that if he persists in issuing a ticket to Dr. Coker, he'll take the initiative to direct his department to issue tickets to Pasco County officers whenever an opportunity arises. This stands as an alternative to offering these officers a customary professional courtesy. Deputy Aiken unquestionably held the belief that Mr. Coker was a deputy sheriff rather than a detention deputy. Mr. Coker took no action to rectify Deputy Aiken's perception and certainly presented himself in a manner that strongly implied a greater level of legal authority than his official certification as a correctional officer actually granted him. After Deputy Aiken issued the citations to Dr. Coker, Mr. Coker once again requested a professional courtesy from Deputy Aiken. During their exchange, Dr. Coker left the scene and headed inside her home while using a racial slur directed at Deputy Aiken. Deputy Aiken reiterated his stance in defense of issuing the citations. He then shared contact information for his supervisor with Mr. Coker before departing the scene without any further incidents. Following this, Mr. Coker promptly contacted a supervisor to express his grievances regarding the encounter with Deputy Aiken. In this conversation, he explicitly referred to himself as a cop. Eventually, Dr. Coker successfully contested the charges, leading to her acquittal for the offense of running the stop sign. The other citations were also dismissed. However, due to Mr. Coker's behavior during this incident and subsequent internal affairs investigation, he faced administrative charges, including misdirected action in an official investigation, misuse of communications facilities, improper use of an official position, and conduct unbecoming a member of the sheriff's office. As a consequence of these actions, on January 30th, 2020, the Florida Criminal Justice Standards and Training Commission, responsible for certifying law enforcement and correctional officers within the state, made the decision to revoke Mr. Coker's correctional officer certification due to the misuse of public position. And now let's move on to another investigation. On February 4th, 2020, Officer Kevin Munger, employed with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, was on duty as an off-duty security guard at a Publix grocery store located in Jacksonville, Florida. During his shift, Tawanda Crowell, a local mother, purchased several items from the store. Subsequently, she left the store area only to re-enter briefly before ultimately exiting the store. Publix manager Anna Augusto Bonner approached Officer Munger and informed him that she had observed Ms. Crowell leaving the store with items in a bag, yet she hadn't witnessed a transaction taking place. Responding to this information, Officer Munger approached Ms. Crowell, who was by then seated inside her vehicle with her 12-year-old daughter and two nieces seated in the back.
That's what it's going to come to.
You ain't seen me sell nothing.
Then show me your receipt.
I will not.
If you took it without paying for it,
I don't sell.
I don't steal.
Then all
I do not steal.
they want to do is
I don't
not have you
steal.
here.
I don't steal.
Okay, then show me your receipt.
I won't do that.
Why?
I won't do that because.
Do you realize you can go to jail for that?
Oh, I realize if I stole it, but I don't steal.
You're not cooperating.
I'm not cooperating because you ain't got no probable cause because they said something. Go watch the camera first.
Ma'am.
I'll walk back in there with you and go watch the camera. No, I'm upset because I see this every day.
I don't have access to the camera.
Officer Munger proceeded to request that Ms. Crowell provide him with her identification and the receipt for a Publix purchase. Despite his repeated requests, Ms. Crowell declined to comply with his demands. In response, Officer Munger informed her that she would be taken into custody. Officer Munger's decision to arrest Ms. Crowell was likely founded on probable cause, given the information provided by Ms. Augusto Bonner's accusation. Moreover, there is a strong likelihood that a court would recognize Officer Munger's actions as having reasonable suspicion to detain and request identification from Ms. Crowell. However, it's crucial to highlight that Ms. Crowell would not be under a legal obligation to present a receipt or any form of identification. This is a key consideration in the scenario, emphasizing an individual's rights within such circumstances.
No, everybody ain't.
Well, most of them are.
They is.
We can profile anybody.
I see y'all up here every day bothering people.
I don't bother anybody.
Whoever.
Can you just show me your receipt?
No, I'm not gonna do that. Because that makes absolutely no sense at all. I'm not going to.
Can I see your receipt?
If they sent you out here, that means they saw me steal.
They didn't see you go through a register
then,
and pay.
So why not do that? Protocol is
step out of the car.
To go look on the camera.
Step out of the car. Step out of the car and come with me.
I'm not stepping out no car.
Then you're going to go to jail.
Officer Munger resorted to deploying his taser against Ms. Crowell, causing her to fall to the ground and subsequently restrained her with handcuffs. According to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office Order 551, which outlines the department's guidelines for response to resistance, it stipulates that officers are authorized to use force at a level that is both reasonable and essential for making an arrest or safeguarding themselves or others from potential physical harm, resistance, or life-threatening situations.
Lieutenant.
Come on.
No.
You're going to go to jail.
No, I'm not.
You're going to go to jail.
No, I'm
yes,
not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Give me your receipt.
I'm not giving you my receipt.
Come on.
No, I'm
You're
not.
Going to jail.
No, I'm not.
You're going to jail.
No, I'm not.
You're going to jail.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
You are going to jail.
No, I'm not.
I'll tell you what I'll do.
No, I'm not.
You're going to jail.
No, I'm not. Call your mama.
Nevertheless, while certain actions by Ms. Crowell upon exiting the vehicle could be interpreted as potentially evasive, the body camera footage notably reveals that when Officer Munger deployed his taser, Ms. Crowell had been standing at a reasonable distance from him, with her hands positioned by her sides for a significant duration. This stance cannot be reasonably classified as active physical resistance. Furthermore, this situation would not have warranted a reasonable officer to believe that Ms. Crowell posed a threat of physical harm or intended to strike him.
Turn around right now. Turn around right now for not cooperating.
Cooperating?
Turn around.
I didn't steal.
Tasing you right now.
I didn't steal nothing. It is.
Officer Munger consistently informs Ms. Crowell that she'll be taken into custody due to her refusal to present her identification and receipt. However, he fails to specify the exact offense for which she would be arrested. Given her protections under the 4th and 5th Amendments in this situation, it's important to note that although Ms. Crowell displayed uncooperative behavior, she was not under any legal obligation to furnish Officer Munger with her receipt or identification. Consequently, it's probable that a court would determine that her actions could not result in an obstruction conviction. Ms. Crowell was held in a police vehicle and offered assistance by Jacksonville Fire Rescue EMS to remove taser darts. However, she preferred going to the hospital for dart removal by a licensed physician due to one dart being lodged in a sensitive area. An off-duty officer watched her children until they were picked up. Officer Munger discovered her receipt in her vehicle after her arrest, as shown in camera footage. After a 6-hour wait, she was taken to the hospital for dart removal and then to jail. She was initially charged with resisting arrest without violence, but the charge was dropped by the state attorney's office. An internal investigation by the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office into Officer Munger's conduct took place after a complaint, though the officer was cleared based on body-worn camera evidence. Officer Munger has faced 25 citizen complaints since 2004, with most not resulting in sustained findings. The Sheriff's Office purges officer discipline records after 5 years. Ms. Crowell filed a lawsuit against Publix in June 2020, which was dismissed with prejudice in December 2021 after an undisclosed settlement. Overall, Officer Munger's actions and Ms. Crowell's case involve various legal and investigative proceedings.